Hello and thank you for joining me. This video is about my good lady's grab bag, and it has just dawned on me I've never introduced myself. My name is Alan. Stay tuned. Before we delve into the contents of the bag, just remember that this is for a sudden impact event. So it could be that you get a knock on the door and told to evacuate because the police have just found, I don't know, a £500 unexploded bomb from the last war, which does happen in the UK quite a bit. Or it could be middle of the night, smoke alarms going mental, you know, wake up, smell smoke, and you're out the window. So that's the type of events that I'm dealing with. This isn't run away and go and live in the woods for 3 days. The bag isn't catered for 72 hours as such. It's catered really for just 24 hours. And the reason being is that it's a good lady's bag. Yeah, she's in her 50s. She doesn't want to lug around a lot of weight. That's my job. So I'll be carrying a hell of a lot more equipment in my bag that will cover both of us. But obviously she needs bare essentials, and it could be that you've been evacuated and you go into a local hall, something like that's been set up, a community hall or something, and you're going to be there for hopefully a relatively short period of time whilst normality arises. If it doesn't, then that's where my bug out bag comes into play, and we'll touch on that at another time. But anyway, this is the bag. It's just over 11.5 pounds wet. So it's a little bit heavy, but there's not many things that I can actually whittle down, though there are a few things, and I'll explain my thought process as we actually delve into the contents of the bag. When you looked at the thumbnail at the beginning of the video, you'd have seen her grab bag and some other items, and I'm quickly going to touch on those. As I said, bear in mind if the alarm goes off because there's a fire or whatever, or a knock on the door so we've got to get out, it could potentially be that we're not dressed. Yeah, so we have an outdoorsy coat, a pair of boots, and an old PE bag, and all that I've put in there inside the PE bag is there's a fleece, a jumper, a t-shirt, a sports bra, a pair of drawers, a pair of socks, and that's it. Yeah, so and a pair of trousers. And whilst we're talking about trousers, a good lady likes wearing dresses, or she wears jeans. What I've done is I've purchased a pair of ex-police females cargo trousers. Dirt cheap, about £8 on eBay. The quality is much better than any sort of fashion items that you will buy. At the end of the day, the police trousers, obviously you're going to be rolling around with naughty people on the floor, so the quality of stitching and the standard of the trousers is better. But anyway, that's not what you're here for. So the idea would be that PE bag and the boots go out the window, grab bag goes out the window, followed by us, or out the door, whatever, and it just gives it gives her some clothes to change into if she's had to run out the door in her dressing gown. If it was a rising tide incident, as in one that's happening gradually, and you've got time to actually deal with it, then that's a different ball game. Chances are you can then put on the clothes that you want to put on. We'll be loading up the car with water, food, and everything else because we will have the time to do so. Yeah, this video is based on sudden impact. Bang, you've got 5 minutes or less to get out the door. For those with eagle eyes, there is another item that was in the thumbnail. It's not for the good lady, although I've put it there because at the end of the day it could be a chap that wants a grab bag for a short-term period. And that's a wooden walking stick. There are very, very few places that you would not be allowed access with that. There are lots of places that are not going to let you walk in with a fixed blade or a hammer or anything else. I personally have a dicky back. Sometimes it gives me problems, other times it doesn't. This is something that I would be taking. as I say, chances are you're never going to be prevented access to a place with this unless you're being a plum, waving it about, threatening to hit people on the head when they don't necessarily deserve it. So, cheap as chips, Amazon, whatever, or charity shop, go in there, couple of quid, walking stick. Just think about it, yeah? You can legally carry it because it's a walking aid, but it is very, very useful. Anyway, enough of my waffle. What I'm going to do is reposition the video, the camera, and start cracking open the contents of her grab bag. Stay tuned. The bag is a 30 litre bag manufactured by Trespass. It's an Albus, is a brand make. I bought it before Christmas on special offer for the grand sum of 15 quid as an EDC work bag for the good lady. She never bothered to use it, so I thought I'd use it as a grab bag. So it sat there for 3 months, and when I opened it, part of the stitching had come undone. So buyer beware, yeah, buy twice. You know what I mean? It's perhaps better to buy once and cry once. So I'm seriously considering just getting her a Helicon Text EDC Lite, the same as I use an EDC bag, because of the quality. In saying that, for this isn't going to be in continued use. It's just going to sit there until it's hopefully never needed. But just be aware of quality issues. So on the front of the bag, on the bungees, I've just put a waterproof coat. This is one of the items I'm thinking about changing. It's quite heavy and bulky. There are much better products out there that take up less pack space and weigh a little bit lighter. So that's one of the items that I'm considering changing. As I say, it's just on there, on the bungees. So that's it. So let's just delve into this front pocket. So there's a first aid kit there. This is another item that I think I'm going to reduce in size to a small boo-boo kit, because as I said, I'm going to be carrying more gear, and I'll be carrying a much more substantial first aid kit. So I can afford to reduce this into a smaller boo-boo kit just for her, so she's got some items with her, knowing that we'll be together and I'll have the bulk of it. So boo-boo kit. Obviously it's in a Ziploc because these bags are never waterproof despite what the manufacturers say. Just keep the contents dry. Glow stick or a chem light. 12 hours of light can be used in an explosive environment. Doesn't need batteries. As a last resort, a good source of lighting or signalling. Mylar emergency bivvy bag. You don't want to go camping in them. They're not a substitute for a sleeping bag. They are there to try and retain your body heat and keep you alive. It is survival, not camping. If you use one, expect to get a bit soggy from condensation. So you'll be damp, but warm and damp. Same sort of thing again, a disposable poncho. Yeah, it's not going to last very long, but it is better than nothing. And for the pack size and the cost, I've put one in there. Mylar blanket, emergency shelter. In this context, it probably isn't going to be used for that. As I say, this is geared up for spending a bit of time in a church or a community hall. But it's got, obviously, if there's an incident and you need it from a first aid point of view, it's good for a casualty blanket, or at a push to use yourself if you are feeling a cold. But there are other items in the bag. So Mylar blanket. A no brand pocket organiser in the front, if I can get it out. It's just a normal, it's an old card. There's some cordage and some duct tape. Phone charger. Phone lead, phone charger. Pen, pencil, Leatherman juice, UK, yeah, less than 3 inch cutting edge, non-knocking blade. so should be no issues with that. The torch, just a cheapie, nothing special in here. Battery, I think I've probably reversed it. Yes, I have. Just to make sure that the battery's going to be good when it's, when it's going to be in use. A spare AA battery, because that's all that runs off. So it's a spare AA battery, a Bic lighter, a notepad, a pen and pencil, and a blanket pin. And we'll touch on that in a little while. Here is an FM radio. It has a little rechargeable battery in it. It's the same connection as the mobile phone, so it can be used on that charger. It comes with some headphones, so you can pop one in your ear to listen to news, updates, keeping your other ear free for security. I don't particularly understand why people have to put two earphones in and then be oblivious to what's happening random. If you want to share the information, you can do it the old-fashioned way. Plug it in, switch it on, drop the earphones into an empty bowl or your cup, and that will actually magnify the volume, so you can then listen hands-free. But there's a little radio there. It's not bad. It's a no brand as such. It was on Amazon. It wasn't expensive, and for short-term use, it doesn't seem to suffer with the dreaded frequency drift. So that's it. So that's the contents of that pouch. On the side we have the Swiss Army canteen. It's the M84 and nesting cup. I've done a video on this already. It's 850 millilitres. This is the good lady's one, so there's no lid with this one, and then there is a cup which is aluminium and is fine for a decent size drink. And it just nests, and these are fairly cheap, usually under 10 quid for the cup and the bottle, but the form factor, yeah, if you've got small hands, it's much easier to manage, as I said in a previous video. Centre section. There's just this little drawstring bag, and to be fair, I can't remember what's actually in this one, but we're going to have a look anyway. So, right, this one is food. So there is a stainless steel spork, available on Amazon for about £2.98. Not the lightest in the world, but stronger than the plastic ones, and quite long. So if you're not going to get mucky fingers when you're delving into a ration pack meal, or for our Americans and MRE, we call them rat packs, ration pack meals. So metal spork. In here we've got some boiled sweets, some chocolate, some ginger biscuits from ration pack, some drink sachets, and I'll touch on them in a moment, and a couple of Kendall mint cakes. So to be fair, the bulk of this is sugar. Now, the reason drink sachets are in there, the good lady doesn't like the taste of water. So she can add the powder, it's a lemonade I believe, add that to the drinking water if she's going to be drinking water. Or if she's had to resort to using purification tablets, after the 30 minutes she can pop that in there, and that will help neutralise the chlorine taste. So all that is really is snacks. As I say, this is primarily for 24 hours, it's not a 72-hour kit. Hot chocolate, courtesy of a ration pack. Oatmeal block, ration pack. Fruit and nut mix from a ration pack. Canned real sweeteners. I think there's 100 in that sachet, so that's plenty. for the anticipated time frame. Some 2-in-1 coffees. A dehydrated porridge. I've used this company for ages. There's over 400 calories in this as a breakfast. It weighs nothing. Obviously you need to hydrate it, but they are really nice. And then a wet meal from a ration pack. Reason there's a wet meal in there, can be eaten cold, it's minging, but there's nothing better if you've got drama or you know, is to be able to eat a hot meal. What should be in here and isn't is a ration pack heater. Mine are out of date. I will try one actually, just to see if it's still effective. I have ordered some more, they've not arrived yet, but there would be one ration pack heater in here. That way you can use a small amount of water, as I've said it before. It can be urine, it doesn't come in contact with the food. It could be muddy water, excuse me. It could be water from a puddle, from a fish tank, whatever. It hasn't got to be drinkable water. It just has to be water, chemical reaction, 10 minutes. The food is hot. Means you haven't got to faff about with a stove. So as I say, that's going there. So that's the food. So there is, to be fair, plenty there really to last a 24-hour period. The Polymath mini survival kit, I've done a separate video on this. Redundancies. There's purification tablets in there, compass, fire starter, a whistle, blah 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 blah. Check out the video if you want to have a look. It's nice and small. Wouldn't necessarily be used, you know, if it's just a short period of time that you're in a community hall or something, but you never know, and I believe in redundancies. So there's some in here in the guise of the mini survival kit. Couple of bin bags, they're quite heavy duty ones. Use as a ground sheet, put stuff in for insulation, waterproof your kit, put rubbish in, couple of rubbish bags. In here is medication, paracetamol, Imodium and Senecot. So pain pills, poo pills and constipation pills. Then there's some water purification tablets in there. So that's in addition to what's already in the mini survival kit, and I've just printed off some labels on there with some instructions. Yeah, so it's water purification, 1 tablet per 1 litre. Although a bottle is about 850 millilitres, I'd still put the 1 tablet in. Yeah, and wait 30 minutes. Then at the back, just there, are 2 diarylites, which are essential salts. It's to rehydrate if you're down. Yeah, so there's 2 diarylites there. On a little fob with a carabiner is an emergency whistle. Yes, there's one in the survival tin. There's one here. Small LED light and a tin opener. Right, that's those 2 done. Right, in the main section of the bag, we have another drawstring bag. This one I believe is toiletries. Hand sanitizer. A travel hairbrush. As I say, it's for the good lady. You've seen my head, I don't need a brush. I'll do better off with a bit of Velcro. Two packets of tissues, some small nappy sacks, put fruit wrappers in, waste in. Yeah, if you need to go to the loo and you can't dispose of the toilet paper, you can tie it off in there, but just to try and keep things a little bit cleaner. A small travel deodorant. I know it says Nivea for men. Apparently it's got silver bits in it, but anyway, at the end of the day, it is a small deodorant, yeah. A small bottle of shower gel, so it can be used as hand soap, or you can wash your barnet with it, your hair with it, or have a shower, whatever you need. So basically it's liquid soap. Some wet wipes, just to clean up, you know, a bit of hygiene, clean up, etc. Yeah, have a squaddy wash if you haven't got running water, whatever. And a small travel, that I picked up a few of these. There's a small toothpaste and a toothbrush, yeah, just so you can try and maintain a little bit of hygiene. Perhaps I'm a bit of a dirty sod, but whilst I obviously have basic hygiene, I do not see or understand why in your grab bag you would have a full toiletries set. Yeah, at some point you're going to smell, deal with it, keep your hands clean if you know, for eating. When you go to the toilet, make sure you clean yourself down, but it's not essential to have 2 showers a day, is it? You know, this is survival we're talking about, as I say, not camping in a spa. So anyway, so that's the toiletries. There's probably some hair clips that could do going in there, because it's a good lady. She's a lady, isn't she? So she's going to be concerned about how her hair potentially looks. But anyway, toiletries. In this Ziploc there is a pair of gloves, work gloves, a Benny hat, not a beanie, a Benny hat, same thing, but the correct pronunciation is Benny, but we'll have that conversation another day for those that are old enough to know who Benny was. A snood or a neck over, and a pair of wool socks. A schmog. And I am denied about this, but at the end of the day it can be used as a towel. It's a fair size, so it can be used as a mini blanket or as a scarf, or you can use it to put other stuff under it, to use it as a pillow if you've got to get your head down. It's 100% cotton, you can use it as a filter. There's just so many more uses for this, or as a bandage, that I thought this would be better than just having, say, a camping microfiber towel or something like that. So there's a schmog in there. In here, this is a rubble sack, just to keep it dry, is a snug pack jungle blanket. I will say that I've actually ordered a 1/2 season sleeping bag for the good lady's bag, but this is also hers. This blanket I bought for her, and I'm a bit undecisive about what's actually going to land up in there finally. They both weigh about the same, 650 grams, something like that. The blanket is probably going to be more practical than a sleeping bag, but I've got one coming anyway, so it doesn't matter. And that's why, so you can wrap yourself up in this, you know, do it yourself sleeping bag, but that's why when I went through the pocket organiser, there was a blanket pin in there. You can drape this around you like a cape and use a blanket pin, yeah, so it just gives more function to that. So that is all that's in there, is the jungle blanket. Now, the last item in here is I have a big roll of this stuff. It's like bubble wrap with foil either side. You know, you could cut it a size, put it behind your radiators at home, that sort of thing. I've just cut a length. It adds a bit of padding to the bag, but it's quite a decent size. It's going to be very difficult to see, but that is torso length. So you can double it over and double it over again, and that's then quite thick. So you've got something to sit on, give you a bit of padding if you've got to sit down, keep you out of the rain, or keep your bum from getting wet anyway. At a push, if you've got a kip in a church hall and it's a solid wood floor or something, it's going to be uncomfortable. This isn't a firm arrest, yeah, but you could actually lay on this. It will reflect a bit of your body heat and give you a bit of padding. So, and believe me, it weighs absolutely next to nothing. So that is it. That is the full contents of the bag. As I say, it's not 72-hour bag. It is a grab bag for a sudden impact type event, and I would be carrying substantially more equipment that would cover us both. Yeah, full-size tarp, 3x3 DD tarp, etc, etc. But at least this gives her some elements of comfort and survival should the need arise. Thank you for watching the video. I'd love to read your comments. If it's useful, hit the thumbs up, consider subscribing, and in the not too distant future it will be my bug out bag, and then it would just be following a theme. Thank you very much. Stay safe.